Welcome back to the Paranormal State, Washington, and UFO UAP. With Makāula Nakae, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. Today's episode, Xendras and the Twin Lakes, Mount Baker, Pacific Northwest bridging South American lore with Washington's high-energy landscape. While the precise terminology of Xendra's localized dimensional bubbles and spatial-temporal doorways is historically rooted in South American contactee traditions, such as Mission Rama and the field accounts of researchers like Ricardo Gonzalez, applying this conceptual framework to Washington State reveals a fascinating convergence. When an anomalous landscape mirrors an interior vision, such as encountering a precise geography in waking reality that was previously experienced in a lucid dream or state of consciousness, it points to a profound convergence of synchronicity, visual communication, and symbolic resonance. Examining this experience through the framework of contact mechanics and symbolic interpretation reveals why locations like Twin Lakes and Mount Pleiades carry such multi-layered significance. In contactee phenomenology, instances where an external location matches an internal dreamscape or prevision are frequently interpreted not merely as coincidence, but as an orchestrated alignment of consciousness. If advanced intelligence or multi-dimensional contact operates outside standard linear time constraints, imprinting a mental template or a future visual memory into a dreamer's awareness prior to physical arrival serves as a confirmation beacon. It signals to the observer that the trajectory is deliberate and that perception is actively being synchronized across states of consciousness. As noted in contact research, visual symbols and manifestations, such as a hovering structure or a spiral craft, rarely possess a single literal definition. Instead, they function as dense multi-dimensional glyphs designed to evoke multiple layers of meaning simultaneously. Universal symbol of evolution, cyclical movement, the unwinding of DNA or consciousness, and the direct translation between dimensions. Representing a bridge, a mobile observation post, or a focal point where observer and observed meet across the veil of spacetime. As an isolated, high-altitude alpine basin beneath mineral-rich volcanic strata, Twin Lakes provides the quiet, low-interference, biological canvas required to process subtle mental and visual impressions. The surrounding geography, including the prominence of Mount Pleiades near the Mount Baker Massif, adds an intentional layer of stellar nomenclature and cosmic correspondence. In esoteric traditions, aligning earthly power nodes with celestial star groupings suggests a terrestrial to cosmic mapping system. The location was likely chosen because its unique geobiological porosity acts as a natural signal booster, while its remote, pristine wilderness provides an undisturbed theater for the mind to bridge subjective dream memory with objective physical reality. When we map the mechanics of Xendra onto Washington's unique geobiology, tectonic activity, and regional folklore, the Pacific Northwest emerges as a natural northern anchor for the exact same types of high-energy phenomena. As established in South American contactee lore, Xendras do not manifest arbitrarily. They require natural telluric capacitors, mineral-rich strata, tectonic stress, and electromagnetic stability, such as hyper-arid deserts or high Andean peaks. Washington State mirrors these exact environmental triggers on a massive scale. Just as the Andes feature towering volcanic power nodes, Washington's Cascade Range, anchored by Mount Rainier Tacoma, Mount Adams, and Mount St. Helens, provides immense piezoelectric basalt andesite strata under active tectonic pressure. The convergence of deep glacial watersheds, subterranean aquifers, and the marine freshwater matrix of the Puget Sound creates the hyperconductive fluid circuitry necessary to stabilize subtle energy fields. While local groups in Washington may not use the specific Quechua influence vocabulary of South American contactees, alternative researchers and regional anomaly trackers often report identical phenomenological encounters across the state. Long before modern ufology, local indigenous traditions viewed Mount Rainier as a sentinel and a bridge to the sky world. In contemporary alternative research, the mountain and its surrounding wilderness areas frequently record anomalous luminous phenomena, compass deviations, and accounts of missing time or sudden environmental shifts, hallmarks of natural portal activity. In continental esoteric geography, the Pacific Northwest energy grid is frequently viewed as the northern terminus of a massive tectonic energetic corridor that runs all the way down through Mount Shasta in California. A legendary epicenter for inner-earth portals, telos, and dimensional doorways. If a Xendra is fundamentally an intersection where advanced extraterrestrial or interdimensional field technology synchronizes with Earth's natural telluric grid and human consciousness, then regions like Washington State possess all the necessary physical raw materials. While South American traditions emphasize active group meditation and designated desert theaters, like Chilca, to intentionally open these spatial bubbles, the rugged wilderness, volcanic capacitors, an ancient sacred geography of Washington State suggests that the Pacific Northwest has long functioned as a quiet, powerful northern counterpart in the Earth's global network of dimensional thresholds. When connecting the concept of Xendras dimensional portals to Mount Baker Massif in Washington State, we encounter a landscape steeped in a long history of high strangeness, indigenous lore, and anomalous UAP sightings. While South American contactee traditions explicitly use the term Xendra, the phenomenology reported around Mount Baker mirrors the exact same intersection of volcanic geology, tectonic stress, and spatial-temporal anomalies. Like the high Andean peaks associated with Ricardo Gonzalez's fieldwork, Mount Baker is an active, heavily glaciated stratovolcano composed of mineral-rich crystalline andesite strata. Situated within an active seismic and volcanic region, the mountain experiences intense subterranean pressures and is wrapped in complex glacial watersheds, such as the Nooksack River drainage. In geobiological frameworks, these forces create natural piezoelectric fields and telluric nodes, the exact environmental conditions required to stabilize localized energetic bubbles or portals. Long before modern anomaly tracking, regional Coast Salish and Nooksack oral traditions revered Mount Baker as a sacred sentient entity, a great spiritual guardian, and a bridge between the physical plane and the sky world. In contemporary alternative research, Whatcom County and the communities surrounding Glacier and Mount Baker have frequently served as focal points for unexplained aerial phenomena. Investigators and local witnesses have documented silent, erratic glowing orbs, sudden trajectory shifts, and geometric craft movements that defy conventional aircraft capabilities. If a Xendra represents a localized threshold, or Earth's natural telluric grid interfaces with higher dimensional phenomena, then remote alpine zones, like Mount Baker, fit the blueprint perfectly. Whether viewed through the lens of South American contact mechanics or Pacific Northwest high strangeness, the mountain stands as a powerful natural node where the veil between the physical landscape and the wider cosmos appears unusually thin. Twin Lakes, Mount Baker, and the Portal Hypothesis. Tucked into a high-altitude alpine basin just below Winchester Mountain and Goat Mountain in the Mount Baker Wilderness, Twin Lakes sits at roughly 5,100 feet elevation. Accessible via a rugged historic mining road built out of the late 19th century Mount Baker Gold Rush, this remote area is geographically and historically primed for high strangeness. When mapping the theoretical mechanics of a Xendra, localized spatial-temporal bubbles and dimensional portals onto the terrain around Twin Lakes and the broader Mount Baker Massif, several striking geobiological and anomalous correlations emerge. In the study of geobiology and high strangeness, the alpine basin surrounding Twin Lakes, nestled beneath Mount Baker in Whatcom County, represents a textbook case of a high-energy terrestrial node. When analyzing this landscape through the theoretical framework of Xendra mechanics and natural portal dynamics, the convergence of extreme topography, intensive mineralogy, and tectonic strain provides a compelling physical blueprint. Just as South American contact sites like Chilca are high Andean plateaus, utilize elevation and isolation, high-altitude alpine basins act as natural topographical funnels. Flanked by rugged, mineral-rich crests like Red Mountain and Tamahoy Peak, the Twin Lakes Basin forms a distinct geographical cup that concentrates atmospheric and terrestrial energy. The peaks surrounding the lakes are composed of complex, heavily fractured igneous and metamorphic formations. These sharp geological boundaries and jagged fault blocks create natural physical barriers that channel subtle telluric currents and focus localized magnetic fields. Hard rock geology, quartz veining, and piezoelectricity in the Mount Baker district, In the study of geobiology and alternative Earth energy mechanics, the mineralogical composition of a landscape is just as important as its surface topography. The rugged mining district surrounding Mount Baker and Twin Lakes, anchored by historic operations like the Lone Jack Mine and the Boundary Red Mountain Mine, presents a fascinating geological profile. When examined through the lens of portal mechanics and natural energetic capacitance, the intense mineralization of this region provides the physical hardware necessary to generate and sustain high-strangeness phenomena. The latent gate of 19th and early negative 20th century gold rushes in the Mount Baker district were driven by prospectors chasing rich mineral veins through the high-altitude alpine terrain. Locations like Amphitheater Ridge, home to the legendary Lone Jack Mine, required carving deep tunnels into the jagged rock, exposing the inner geological structure of the Cascades. From a geobiological perspective, these historical mining sites serve as clear indicators of heavily altered mineralized fault zones. The presence of gold, silver, copper, and iron sulfides means the Earth here is chemically and electrically active, differing significantly from uniform or inert sedimentary rock formations. The quartz veins coursing through the Mount Baker district play a pivotal role in alternative geobiological theories. Silicon dioxide in its crystalline quartz form possesses inherent piezoelectric properties, meaning it generates an electrical charge when subjected to mechanical stress or physical deformation. Under constant tectonic pressure from the Cascadia subduction zone, combined with the thermal fluctuations of an active volcanic region and the expansion and contraction of seasonal alpine ice, the quartz-laced fault breccia undergoes continuous microstress. This mechanical pressure is converted directly into electrical and electromagnetic energy. In this framework, the mineralized veins act as natural subterranean circuits and transducers. The continuous generation of piezoelectric charges, amplified by surrounding conductive sulfide ores and circulating groundwater, creates localized electromagnetic anomalies. These natural energy fields are theorized to provide the stable, high-frequency baseline required to anchor subtle energetic phenomena, environmental anomalies, and spatial-temporal portals within the alpine landscape. Fed by alpine snowmelt unfeeding headwaters like Swamp Creek, the underground hydrological network, flowing through these fractured mineralized rock layers, creates a hyperconductive subterranean circuit. In geobiological frameworks, this combination of moving water, metallic sulfides, and quartz-rich fault zones forms a powerful natural telluric capacitor, providing the exact environmental stability theorized to anchor and ground subtle energy fields and spatial-temporal anomalies. Because Twin Lakes is deeply isolated, subject to extreme seasonal weather shifts, and largely free from urban electromagnetic pollution, visitors frequently report profound psychological and sensory shifts. Prospectors, mountaineers, and hikers over the decades have noted an eerie, hyper-quiet stillness in the basin, accompanied by intense night skies. In contactee lore, these high-altitude, low-noise environments naturally lower the sensory filter, acting as psychological and energetic mirrors where travelers are more susceptible to lucid dreams, anomalous visual tracking, and deep alterations in time perception. Historical UAP reporting in Whatcom County and the Cascade region. According to records compiled by the National UFO Reporting Center, NUFORC, which was historically headquartered in Washington State, Washington consistently ranks near the top of the United States for reported unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, per capita. The Pacific Northwest and the Cascade Mountain Corridor, including the airspace surrounding Mount Baker and Whatcom County, have a long documented history of civilian-submitted reports cataloging unusual nocturnal lights, glowing orbs, and unidentified aerial objects. The broader region's association with modern UFO history dates back to June 24, 1947, when private pilot Kenneth Arnold observed a chain of 9 fast-moving, reflective objects moving from the vicinity of Mount Baker down toward Mount Rainier, an event that triggered nationwide media coverage and established the term flying saucer. Locally, municipal and archival logs from Whatcom County over the decades include various citizen descriptions of unexplained aerial lights and nocturnal objects navigating remote mountain and marine airspace. The Portal Hypothesis. If locations like Chilca in Peru or the high Andes function as natural theaters for Xendra activity, because of their unique matrix of mineral earth, tectonic stress, and deep quiet. Then, remote alpine basins, like Twin Lakes, share that exact geological DNA. Whether interpreted through indigenous cosmology as sacred sky bridges or through modern alternative frameworks as interdimensional windows, the Twin Lakes and Mount Baker corridor stands as a primary North American node where the physical Earth meets the unknown. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archive Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact and the Paranormal State. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute exploration into the evolution of ufology, perfect for your daily plunge into decoding hidden messages from outer space, designed to raise awareness and foster human evolution. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.